The journey doesn't begin with a weapon. It begins with a wall. You are a nobody, a peasant, a soldier of fortune, or perhaps a scholar who lost his path. You have traveled for weeks through the jagged Alborz mountains until the air became thin and the earth turned to stone. You stand now at the base of Alamut, the eagle's nest. It is a fortress carved directly into the clouds, a place where the laws of empires do not reach. You are a Lasiq, the aspirant. To the Order, you are less than the dust on their boots. Your first test is a test of the soul. You are told to sit at the gates and wait. You sit in the scorching sun of the day and the bone-chilling frost of the Persian night. You are given no food and no water by the guards. They walk past you as if you were a ghost. This is the first stage of indoctrination. The Order needs to know if your ego can be broken, if your will is something you can surrender. After 3 days, when your tongue is swollen and your mind is beginning to fracture, the heavy oak doors creak open. You aren't taken to a barracks. You are taken to a room filled with the scent of heavy incense and a bitter green tea. You drink because your body demands it. This is your introduction to the special herb. The world begins to melt. The stone walls of the fortress dissolve into a lush, impossible garden. You see streams of milk and honey, trees heavy with exotic fruit, and voices that sound like music. This is the Garden of Paradise. For a few hours, you believe you have died and reached heaven. This is the ultimate psychological anchor. The Master is showing you what awaits you if you serve. When you wake up back in the cold gray stone of the cell, the transition is agonizing. You will spend the rest of your life trying to get back to that garden. You have been recruited, but you are not yet a brother. You are a tool being forged. You spend your days in silence, performing menial labor, hauling water, sharpening blades, and memorizing the secret codes of the Order. You are learning the first lesson of the Hashashin. Patience is a weapon. A sword is only useful if the hand holding it knows when to stay still. You are no longer an individual. You are a Lasiq, a blank slate waiting for the Master to write your destiny in blood. You have survived the hunger and the visions. Your ego has been stripped away, replaced by a singular burning purpose. You are now a Fidai, the one who sacrifices. This is the lowest combat rank, but it is the most feared name in the known world. You are no longer a student. You are a living weapon, a shadow that walks in the light of day. Your life is now a masterclass in asymmetric warfare. You don't train to fight in a line of shields. You train to be invisible in a crowd. You learn the arts of disguise. 1 month you are a blind beggar at the city gates. The next you are a devout monk in a great mosque. You learn to speak multiple languages, to mimic regional accents, and to blend into the scenery of a bustling bazaar until even the guards look right through you. The training is brutal. You learn the strike of the single breath. You are taught exactly where the heart sits behind the ribs and how to slide a poisoned dagger between the vertebrae with a single silent thrust. But the Order doesn't want you to kill in the dark. They want the public strike. The goal of a Fidai isn't just to remove a target. It is to spread maximum terror. You are ordered to strike a vizier or a crusader knight in the most crowded place possible, during Friday prayers or a royal procession. You walk up to the target, deliver the blow, and you do not run. You stand your ground. You accept your death with a smile, knowing you are returning to the garden. This fearlessness is your greatest psychological weapon. When an enemy knows you don't care about living, they realize they have no way to stop you. You have survived the front line. You have seen your brothers fall in the streets, but you have been spared for a greater purpose. You are now a Rafiq, a companion. You are no longer just a blade. You are a teammate and a specialized operative. If the Fidai is the arrow, you are the one who chooses the angle of the bow. A Rafiq's greatest skill is deep infiltration. Unlike the Fidai who strikes and dies, you are trained to live in the heart of the enemy for years. You might be sent to a sultan's court not as a killer, but as a royal tutor, a personal physician, or a trusted stable hand. You learn to be indispensable. You become the person the enemy trusts most, all while reporting every whisper back to the eagle's nest. At this rank, you master the art of the warning. The order knows that sometimes a dead king is less useful than a terrified one. You are the one who slips into a high-security bedchamber while the guards sleep outside. You don't slit the target's throat. Instead, you leave a fresh loaf of warm bread and a dagger pinned to the pillow with a note, "What is far is near." The psychological impact is absolute. The target wakes up knowing that the order could have ended them at any moment. They become a puppet, making political decisions that favor Alamut just to stay alive. You are the companion of the shadow, playing a long game of mental chess. You realize that power isn't just about blood, it's about the promise of blood. You are the reason the powerful can never truly sleep.
You have transitioned from the blade to the word. As a Dai, you are the voice of the order, a regional commander who operates far from the mountain peaks of Alamut. You are no longer hidden in the rafters. You are out in the world, building the cells that will sustain the order for generations. You are a recruiter, a strategist, and an intellectual. Your primary weapon at this rank is indoctrination. You manage secret libraries and underground meeting houses in the hearts of great cities like Cairo, Baghdad, or Damascus. You look for the angry, the brilliant, and the lost. You find the young men who feel the weight of corrupt empires, and you offer them a purpose. You are the architect of their transition from person to Lasiq. You teach them that the world is a lie, and only the order is real. But your role is also one of brutal ethics. You are the one who receives the list of names from the master. You must decide the lesser evil. You sit in your hidden study and map out the consequences of a single death. If killing a certain general will stop a war that would slaughter 10,000 peasants, you authorize the strike. You weigh human lives like a merchant weighs gold. The weight of this rank is psychological. You are responsible for the lives of your Fidai. When you send a 19-year-old boy to his certain death in a public square, you are the one who has to look him in the eye and tell him he is going to paradise. You are a commander of souls, and you begin to realize that the most dangerous part of the order isn't the dagger, it's the absolute, unshakable belief you've planted in the minds of your men. You have ascended to the height of regional power. You are no longer a hidden cell leader. You are a Dai al-Kabir, a grand prior. You rule over your own satellite fortress, a secondary eagle's nest that commands an entire province. At this rank, you are a statesman, a general, and a ghost king. You move in the highest circles of power, not as a servant, but as an equal to the monarchs who once ignored you. Your primary duty is political manipulation. You manage the shadow tax. You sit across from crusader kings and Seljuk sultans, and you don't threaten them with an army. You simply remind them that your men are already inside their walls. You receive massive payments of gold and land, not for what you do, but for what you don't do. You are the architect of a peace built on pure, unadulterated fear. You are the reason a king will change his entire foreign policy after finding a single gray feather on his throne, the symbol of your reach. The complexity of this rank is a burden of grand strategy. You are managing a multi-generational war of influence. You decide which empires to support and which to destabilize. You coordinate with other grand priors across the continent to ensure that the order remains the invisible third power in every conflict.
You have moved beyond the physical kill. You are now killing entire dynasties by starving them of resources or turning their allies against them through whisper campaigns. The psychological cost is a growing isolation. You are surrounded by luxury and power, but you are a prisoner of your own myth. You cannot trust your allies, for they only fear you. You cannot trust your servants, for they are the very tools you taught to be invisible. You realize that to maintain the Order's power, you must become a legend rather than a man. You are the Grand Prior, the man who holds the leash of the shadows, realizing that the more power you have, the further you are from the simple paradise you were promised as a boy. You have reached the summit of the world. You are the Sheikh al-Jabal, the old man of the mountain. From the highest tower of Alamut, you do not just see the mountains, you see the invisible threads that connect every throne, every mosque, and every battlefield in the east. You are no longer a person. To your followers, you are a shadow of God. To your enemies, you are a demon who can command death with a single nod. Your power is the ultimate form of psychological sovereignty. You don't lead an army of thousands, you lead an army of wills. You can stand on your balcony and order a Fidai to leap from the ramparts to his death just to prove his loyalty to a visiting ambassador. This isn't cruelty, it is a demonstration of absolute control. You have built a system where your thoughts become reality without you ever having to lift a finger. You are the supreme architect of the deception. The psychological cost is the final, total loss of your humanity. You are the keeper of the garden, but you are the only one who knows it was a trick of herbs and stagecraft. You are the one who knows that the paradise your men die for is a beautiful lie you maintain to keep the Order alive. You live in a state of total responsibility. Every life taken and every soul broken is a weight on your chest that no one else can help you carry. You have reached ultimate power only to find that it is the coldest, loneliest place in existence. The end of the ladder is a return to the beginning. You stand at the gates of Alamut as the sun dips below the horizon. A young boy, a Lasiq, is sitting in the dust, waiting. He is hungry, he is tired, and he is looking for a reason to belong to something greater than himself. You pass the dagger. You hand the ceremonial blade of the Order to your successor. You don't give a speech about glory or empire. You have seen too many empires fall to believe in their permanence. You simply lean down and whisper the final code of the Order. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. You walk away from the fortress, a nameless old man in a gray cloak disappearing into the mountain mist. Behind you, the heavy oak doors creak open for the boy. The cycle of the shadow begins again. The old man is gone, but the Order remains, eternal and invisible.